as a young man, I recognized that there was no ego in making money. I remember I used to run around the neighborhood with friends, collecting cans and bringing them over to the supermarket and exchanging them for nickels and dimes and quarters. Where other people were laughing at me, I was actually earning my way to my new pair of sneakers or my new jacket, not knowing that those actions that I was taking as a young man was actually leading me toward becoming successful later on into the future. I was always taking on multiple jobs, from running a paper route with my parents and my brothers to shoveling snow and cutting grass in the neighborhood. I was always looking for another job, and it was always fun to me to take on a project, something that I wasn't familiar with, or doing something that maybe someone else didn't want to do. That was always something that was moving to me, that inspired me. Hard work, to me, it was never really considered hard work. It was more of a challenge and something that I wanted to say, I actually did this. If I had to describe myself in 3 words, I would say inspiring, hardworking, and just driven to become the best and performing at the level that I'm performing, and just being an inspiration for individuals that are coming in. Hopefully that sparks something in their brain to think bigger than what they're actually thinking. A lot of people, they're limited with their beliefs, and fear does a lot to a person and puts them in a position where they're afraid to actually step outside of the box. And I think maybe my introduction with them or my conversation with them could possibly spark something in their brain to say, I know I can do more with myself.
Hello.
Hey Ma, can you hear me?
Yes, I just want to tell you, Papi, that I am very proud of you. I am very proud your dad and I came to the United States. I remember that your father had to leave. Your father was a very, very hard worker. I remember 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs, to be able to maintain the home. Then Henry came, Stephen came, then you. I always said Adrian is going to be somebody big in the future when he grows up, because you always was following Daddy everywhere. Father have a construction company, and he goes to paint house, to fix houses, and you always want to be in the middle of everything, taking tools, helping him paint. You made Daddy to tie you from the waist. You didn't paint that well because you were little, but I remember you do it. You go from Queens to Brooklyn to work with your dad. When Daddy's car needs any repair, he was always under the car in what Daddy was doing. It was very hard for your dad. We wanted to have you and your brothers and Liliana in a private school. But what made it easy is that you guys didn't give us any headaches. You were very good in the school. I remember when you come home with the homework that I don't have to do much effort. Now seeing you and your brothers is like a reward for the hard life that we live, because you always were very intelligent since you was very little. I remember in New York, before I come here a couple of years ago, I was worried seeing you working too many hours, and I remember that one day I asked you, Papi, when you gonna rest? Why you don't take one day off? And I remember that you answered me, Mommy, this is not a job for me because I love what I do. I think that everything we did for you is a reward. The most important thing, treat the people with a lot of respect. Continue doing what you're doing now because you love it. And when you love your job, that's the best for your future. And in this type of work, you're not only working for money, but you're working because you love to help people. Continue the way you are, working hard, and I always be here praying for you, Papi. Bendiga, God bless you. I love you very much. I am very proud of you.
Thank you, Ma. I love you too.
Thank you for making me a happy and proud mother.
My pleasure, Ma. Thank you.
Okay, love you. I see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
Okay, Papi, bye.
My father, he was the youngest of 21 brothers and sisters. I think it was like 21 or 27 of them. He was actually the first one that, you know, took the chance and left Colombia. We're from the rural part of Colombia where it's all, you know, farms and chickens, and it's basically nowhere near the city. So he was actually the first person that actually out of his brothers and sisters, out of his siblings, that took the opportunity and left Colombia to come here to the United States, because he was looking for a better opportunity for his children that were to come. And at that time he had no idea he was going to have 4 kids. He paved the way to, you know, have me be able to do what I'm doing here today. I was the youngest of 4. You know, growing up with them was a great experience. I always had an older brother to protect me, and I always had you know, an older sister to look out for me, and you know, we were very tight. And although I was the youngest and I was usually, you know, the last one to be chosen out of the game or whatever it is that we were doing, we did have a lot of love for each other, and it was a great childhood. If I had to take a look back, my father, he usually instilled in me that I had to go out and actually make something happen. I remember when I wanted my first pair of sneakers, my first pair of Jordans, or the new jacket or whatever it was that I saw the neighborhood kids wearing, you know, he wouldn't buy it for me. He would say, you gotta go get it. You know, he wouldn't pay for it. You know, you wanna go out there and get the new skateboard, you want the new sneakers, you have to mow a couple lawns, you have to, you know, shovel some snow, you have to do something for the neighbors, and then you can earn your money, and you know, you'll have exactly what it is that you're looking for.
Growing up with Adrian was a challenge, a lot of obstacles. He was always my little brother, always wanted to tag along and, you know, be part of the group. He was definitely, as a child, I would say like a nuisance. That goes to his drive today. You can never tell him, listen, sit back, relax, let somebody else do it. He always wanted to know why, and every step from A to Z.
I've known Adrian for about 30 years, and we grew up together basically, from baseball to high school to the military together. Growing up on the block about 25, 30 years ago, we had a big team, about 30, 40 members. And to keep things in order, we basically had like a military structure. Adrian being one of the youngest ones, I used to always say, this is my little man, nobody mess with this dude. The tables have turned now. Back in the days, Adrian used to come look for me for advice or for something. Now, I call Adrian when I need something. So it's been a 180. Adrian's always been a self-starter. You know, you tell him, you know, he has something in his mind, and he's gonna just strive for it till he gets to it. I believe the Air Force made Adrian a very responsible human being.
When they first walked into the company, it was probably not what they were expecting. I've been able to open people's minds and their vision and their belief, and, you know, to want more for themselves and to actually dream bigger and to see life more as, you know, something that you can actually be in control of. Success ends up becoming almost like a habit to individuals that view it that way. You know, you walk, you feel, you know, the way you wake up in the morning, life and how you view negative situations that might happen to you. The world can be coming down around you, and I think if you're interpreting that way, then it really will be. But if you always can look at the positive out of every situation, I think that's success. When you can look at failure and see it to be something as a learning lesson.
I think it's innate inside of him. He's a giving person. You know, I think when you walk into his office, you feel the energy. When you talk to his people, you feel the energy. You know, you're a product of your peers, so they look up to that leadership. For Adrian, training is not work. For Adrian, he's just a giving person. He's out there just sharing his knowledge. It just so happens that the reward is a top performing agent bringing you back some income. You know, but he just does it because it's nothing to him. You know, it's already in his blood.
Throughout my current career, one thing that resonates with me about Adrian is that he is always pushing me to be better than I actually am. This guy will always pick a perfect opportunity to pull me to the side and say, Milton, you know, you can be doing this a little bit better, you can be doing that a little bit better, and that makes me feel better in having the opportunity to succeed with Rapid Realty.
Adrian is known as one of the most respected guys in the entire company. He might even be the most respected guy, and it's apparent. Recently we had an award ceremony, this being the third award ceremony that we had over the last 3 years that Adrian took home the most awards, by the way. And some of the feedback that I got from some of the people that attended the ceremony for the first time was, man, people really love that Adrian guy. These are people that never met him before. They only heard of Adrian from him having owned an office or whatever. A couple of people told me that, and I always find it interesting to see, you know, who's respected in such a large organization and who actually stands out, not just based on performance, but from leading by example. As a leader within the organization, he doesn't talk trash. He doesn't try to get under people's skin. He doesn't try to ruffle any feathers, and yet he is a top producer. Very easily, Adrian could turn around and in a competitive sales environment like what we have, you know, talk trash if needed, because that's just the way that we do things, you know, to get, you know, to kind of motivate each other. But Adrian is the opposite of that. He's the first guy congratulating someone. He's the first guy welcoming someone to the team. He's the first guy to volunteer his time, his energy, his effort towards bettering the company, putting his personal interests aside, and just helping the organization grow as a whole.
Einstein says, know the rules of the game and play it better than anybody else. You know, I've always been a fan of just tell me what the rules are and then I'll beat everybody at it. And Adrian plays by the rules. They try to reinvent the wheel, they try to do things differently. Adrian just right there by the book, and he excels.
The man has goals, he's determined to accomplish them, and he puts in the work. His work ethic is second to none. I haven't met someone to this day who's willing to put the time, the energy, and effort into the business from the minute that he walked in till now. His confidence has never wavered. The guy has always known that if he put the time and energy into it, he was going to achieve his goals, and he's won from day one. From the minute that he walked into this company, he was one of the top agents. He became the top rental agent. He became the top listing agent, and then he became a franchisee. He led by example, and since he's been a franchisee, there's no one that's overtaken him in the business. So I'd say he's determined, he has great work ethic, and he's a winner.
He takes a military approach to everything that he does. If the name of the game is to get an A+, he'll get an A++. That's just his style. He doesn't slack on anything, and he's always willing to learn. That's another thing. Some people, they can be diligent up to a certain point, but he's always looking to grow his mind, grow his career. He's the only guy that the advice I tell him is sleep less. And next thing you know, he's with us, you know, 1, 2 in the morning, like trying to stay awake, you know, as hard as he's looking. I'm doing it, I'm staying up, you know. I mean, he's collapsed the next day, but he tries, you know, and that's the whole point. This is a guy that is attracted to success. You'll never see Adrian hanging out with the wrong crowd. You'll never see Adrian hanging out with somebody that's not helping his situation or him helping someone else's situation. He's a guy that even in his personal life, in his personal relationship, it gets better and better and better. I'm very proud of Adrian. I'm proud to say that I'm the kind of guy that I'm the same. I only like to associate with successful people. So if I'm in a restaurant with Adrian, I'm in a restaurant with a business owner who owns multiple stores, who's like a successful man on the rise. It's a situation where we're in a restaurant, we're fighting over who's going to pay the bill. That's Adrian. You know, sharing the success and having people to do it with, that's what I'm talking about.
If there's a message that I would give Adrian, it would be to continue to think big. Adrian is a guy that, while he doesn't need much advice because he's a go-getter, he's a self-starter, he's a rare combination of skill and talent. He's a rare combination of work ethic and wanting to do it and actually getting it done. I have 100% confidence in him that he's going to achieve what it is that he wants to achieve.
When I think about Adrian, I think about everyone looking at him in his office with admiration. I think about all of his friends, I think about his reputation, I think about how good of a feeling it is, because, you know, Adrian's best deals and his best part of his career are ahead of him. So when I think about Adrian, I think about the Adrian 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I think about Adrian even in my master plans and other business ventures that I have going on. Adrian's always somehow tied in or encompassed in that. So when I think about Adrian, it's beyond Rapid Realty. It's a bond, it's a friendship, it's a unity.
I
think if there was a message that I can leave anybody with is not be afraid. Don't be afraid of life. Don't be afraid of challenges. Don't ever look at failure and say to yourself that that's it. We've all been through challenges. We've all been through hardships in life, and you can put a spin to it. You can make it positive. You can look at life as an opportunity and see new things and not be afraid to try whatever it is that you're interested in, and don't give up. The most important thing is to believe in yourself and don't worry about what's happening around you. Stay focused. See yourself as a success. Wake up in the morning and feel positive no matter what's going on in your life. Really just say to yourself that you have the ability to look at it differently. You have the choice to say to yourself, today is going to be a great day and I'm going to meet someone that's going to impact my life, or I'm going to come across somebody that's going to leave me with some gems for me to take on for the future. It doesn't necessarily have to be that bad. It can be a great life for you. You just have to choose to feel that way, feel that way, feel that way.